Okay, today is April 11, 2022. Rowland Heights Community Quality Council April General Meeting called to order by Council President Phillip Chen at 7:20. Flag salute, please rise. Please right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, and before the meeting, we are going to honor our retired board members. Let me have the retired board members in person, and please come forward with Carla Sanchez, and with Rowland Sanchez. Oh, Rowland here. And Ellen, is Ellen here? Thank you very much for the service. Thank you very much. And Mr. Cook, would you please come in? Okay. Yeah, we have the certificates. The first one from Congresswoman Young Kim, and recognition of your contribution and dedications to Rowland Heights Community Quality Council. Thank you for your leadership and service. July 12, 2021. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Carla, there's another one from State Senate, from John Newman, Senator, 29th District. The hearing of the application of your retirement from the Rowland Heights Community Quality Council, the foundation of the community is taken for construct by individuals whose care and dedication facilitates a safe, engaged, and a positive environment for its residents. From your 7 years of memorable service, the most recently in your role as a director, you have played on the integral role in the success and the dynamism of the Rowland Heights Community Quality Council and its possible impact on community you have so ably served. Your invaluable contributions have left a positive impact made on the residents of Rowland Heights and their quality of life. On behalf of California State Senate, our deepest thanks and a great gratitude for your service and the best wishes. Thank you. Yeah. No, for this one I will give it to Rowland also.
Yeah.
This one the same. The Rowland, the one for Representative Young Kim. Thank you very much for your service. Thank you. From the State Senate, Newman. Thank you very much for your service. And this one also for both of you, from Assemblyman Phillip Chen, District 55 District. On behalf of the California State Assembly, thank you for your dedicated commitment, leadership, and contributions for Rowland. Thank you. And this one from the County of Los Angeles, from Supervisor Hahn. In recognition of dedicated service in the affairs of the community and for the demonstrated by numerous contributions for the benefit of all the residents of Los Angeles County. Carla Sanchez, thank you very much. And this one is from Kevin Tao, the county supervisor for Rowland. Thank you for us. Thank you for your service. And for our government, I'm here today, and we will present to our colleagues. Oh, nice. Okay, this one for Rowland and Coordinating Council, and it says presented to Carla Sanchez in recognition of 7 years service, your life way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rowland, from Rowland and Community Council, in recognition of 7 years of service, thank you for your dedication. RHCCC. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the 4 members, Maria and Bonnie, is join us. Yeah. Just over the side. Yes. Yeah.
Cary, can you turn the camera so we can see what you're doing?
Come on, this side.
Yeah, okay.
No, your face will be lit up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, the next is the community report. We have a tight schedule. We have that's on. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, we have tight schedule tonight, so try to keep the presentation brief and keep the question short. If you have more questions and we don't have time, please send it to RHCCC, send it to us, and I will announce the email address. So in case you have questions that they have to ask. So let's start the community report. The first speaker is Los Angeles County Public Health. Please come forward and use this computer so you can share the screen.
Can you see? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here at your meeting tonight. My name is Melissa Koba, and I'm a health program analyst with the LA County Department of Public Health. And tonight I'll be giving you a really quick update on the COVID-19 situation in Rowland Heights, as well as some other updates throughout the county. Okay. So as of April 10th, there have been a total of 8,750 cases of COVID-19 in Rowland Heights since the beginning of the pandemic. This is compared to 2,692,303 cases throughout LA County. The adjusted case rate for Rowland Heights is 17,722 per 100,000 residents. In Los Angeles County, the adjusted case rate is 27,922 cases per 100,000 residents. In Rowland Heights, the cumulative number of deaths is 106, compared to LA County, where the total number of deaths has been 30,134. The adjusted death rate for Rowland Heights is 156 people per 100,000 residents, compared to 290 per 100,000 residents, and that's the adjusted death rate for LA County. Now, it is worth noting that the numbers have been pretty stable. We've been plateauing ever since the surge in winter. And that means that cases have been slowing down. When we look at the community testing rates, we see in the unincorporated Rowland Heights area that 40,208 people have been tested for COVID-19. Out of these tests, 8,168 people have tested positive, and the percent is about 20%. So 20% of people are testing positive for COVID-19. Now, when we look at the vaccination rates, overall they look pretty good, particularly when we look at the groups of people who are 5 and over, 12 and over, youth who are 12 to 17, and seniors who are 65 and over. We have, on about 80% or so vaccinated fully. However, if you look at this age group, children from 5 to 11, they have the lowest vaccination rate, 44.1%, and that's an area where we still need to do better, considering, the outcomes that this group is currently facing. There's one skilled nursing facility in proximity to Rowland Heights, and that's the Ellen Conto Skilled Nursing Facility. And based on the latest data, which is from March 21st to the 27th, 97% of staff are fully vaccinated, and 99% of residents have been fully vaccinated. Since the beginning of the pandemic, there have been no new deaths, and the cumulative case rate is 54. Now, I'll give you a few updates regarding the Omicron variant. As you might have heard, the proportion of cases that have been caused by the BA2 subvariant continues to increase, and it currently accounts for 47% of sequence specimens. This subvariant is more easily transmitted than the BA1 subvariant, and this can easily contribute to increases in cases. And so this is something that we definitely need to look out for. As you are aware, the mask mandate has gone away, where it is no longer required, but it is strongly recommended. Second booster has just been made available to people, and it applies to people in certain categories. So people can get a second booster if it's been at least 4 months since they had their last booster dose or their first booster dose. And this applies to immunocompromised persons, adults age 50 and older, and people age 18 to 49 who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for both their primary and booster doses. And we recommend that that booster is going to be Pfizer or Moderna. And as I mentioned, masking continues to be strongly recommended for everyone indoors, regardless of vaccination status. And it's a recommendation, not a requirement, not a mandate. There are now therapeutics available. We have a test to treat program in LA County, where if you've been exposed to COVID-19 and you're at an elevated risk for developing severe illness, you can now get free same-day testing and free antiviral medication. And this has been made available at CVS, Walgreens, and several community sites. If you need access to any of these medications, have questions about the vaccines, or anything related to COVID, please call our public health call center. And this is the number here, 833-540-0473. And again, just pointing you to our resources here, to our website, go to vaccinatelacounty.com for vaccine information. And again, we recommend that you start to add layers of protection given the BA2 variant by getting your vaccine, getting boosted, wearing a mask, getting tested if you have symptoms of COVID-19, and using good ventilation whenever you're indoors. And with that, that concludes my presentation, and I'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Okay, looks like nobody has any questions.
Okay, if there's no questions, then we'll move to the next speaker. And then if you do have a presentation on, then send us an email, or then I will forward to the health department. Thank you very much. Okay, the next speaker is one of Diamond Bar Chef's Station, Deputy Claudia Maldonado. Please come forward and take your seat.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. So for the month of February, all our crimes were pretty much the same. Our auto burglary crimes decreased a little bit, like about 10 incidents less than February. And our catalytic converters went up significantly. We had 16 in the month of March, and I'm sorry, we went down. We had 7 in the month of March, and we had 16 for the month before that. So what we're seeing a lot of is vandalism. Vandalism as far as slashing of tires, breaking windshields, and we have narrowed it down to a few suspects in the community. But unless we have video of these individuals doing these crimes, we pretty much have nothing. So we've also seen an increase in graffiti. I don't know if you guys have been walking around your neighborhoods and been seeing a lot of gang graffiti. We encourage you to call it in, not only because we take pictures of the graffiti, but also because we've arrested people with spray cans, and we look through their property, and if their property tagging matches whatever tagging is up on the walls, we pretty much have the chance to charge them for whatever vandalism they're getting. So you can either call yourself the graffiti line, take pictures and send them to me or Deputy Denver, or you can just call the station. We'll go out there, we'll take pictures, and then we'll call the graffiti hotline. We've been seeing a big increase in a new business trend where people are purchasing new vehicles and then renting them out. Please beware when you do this, because more than 80% of the time they're not bringing your car back. You're doing this contract with this person, you're getting their ID, you're getting the information that you think it's them. They take your car and they don't bring it back. So there has been a few cars on Fajardo, for instance, that I've seen that they're advertising that they will rent the car out every day. So please be careful if this is your new business. The encampments on Albatross, just south of Colima, behind the Goodwill, we partnered up with LA Parks and Rec, and we cleaned out that trail that goes all the way to like the old nursery, the plant nursery that's closed down. We cleaned out the back of it. There was mostly debris. We did contact a few individuals. We offered them help. They didn't want it, but we cleared them out from there, and their plan is to put up no trespassing, no lodging signs. That way, if they do go back, we start citing them and then start the whole paper process. We also, I don't know if anybody noticed the 5 parts of debris that were on Pathfinder. Well, we got them to take those as well. And then the mess that is on Colima across from Rowland Ranch Plaza. I'm sure everybody's seen it. There's a big amount of debris right next to the fencing of the water embankment. We have contacted Public Works to come clean up the mess. Now we have a host team that will go to encampments, but that particular area is not considered an encampment because these people are not hanging out there and living there for a period of time. They move around, they take their carts and move around. So to them, that's not an encampment, but they are leaving a lot of debris. So I have taken pictures, sending them to Public Works so they could come and clean up because we can't clean up. We don't know what kind of materials it was, hazardous material. So we want them to come and do it the way they're supposed to do it, taking everything out of there. But we have contacted them, and as of right now, they have not back to me. So I will continue working on that because it looks awful. It looks awful that how all that mess is right there, right under the Rowland Heights sign. And that's pretty much all I have. Does anybody have any questions, any concerns that you would like to bring up? If not here, you can always email me. And I check my email every day for anything that's going on in your community.
This is Roy. Can Roy speak?
Just an FYI that area by the by Lamb's Auto, you mentioned by the
Yes.
Rowland High, that's been reported by several people in the community in the past 2-3
Yes.
weeks. And
Yes,
I hope you can get it cleaned up because we haven't been able to do it.
yes, I've been. Where do I find it? So I've been emailing them. I've been speaking to them. All I got from them as of now is that they will pick up carts. They'll pick up the market carts, but they have to be empty. So that's another concern because where are we going to empty them out? So it's a little bit of a struggle, but we're really trying because, like I said, it looks awful. I know that it looks awful for people who live here. It looks awful for me when I pass by there, and I'm on them about coming in and cleaning it up for us.
Yeah, can Roy speak? Is that okay if Roy speak? Can you hear me?
Sure, go ahead, Roy.
Okay. Number one, I was out on that trail over there that you're talking about by Albatross, so forth. There are a couple of guys moved back in, but that's part of the game. Also, right there at that Albatross underpass, there's a guy camping out there. But again, that's all part of the game. And as to that Lamb's Auto situation, all day I was going by there, and there are guys in and out there dumping. And I have a nice video on my YouTube channel. I'll be putting up another one today, keeping you up to date on that. But as far as cleaning it up, the regular guys won't clean it up because they have to have the hazmat guys come out there because there's feces and other things in there. And I think it's about time just to arrest these people for criminal trespass. Yeah, put them in the slammer.
I agree. That's when the signs come in. As long as there's signs posted up, no trespassing, no.
Yeah, get those signs up, clean those people out because they just thumb their noses. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. Anybody else? Questions, concerns, comments? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you.
So the next speaker will be Lieutenant Highway Patrol Officer Kevin Tao. Kevin Tao is online. Are you online?
Hi, I'm here. I am here, Gary. How are you?
Okay, so let me put on the speaker mode.
Okay.
Go.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Officer Kevin Tao with the California Highway Patrol. Just want to give everyone a little bit of an update of what's going on in the city of Rowland Heights. So I did a little bit of research for the first quarter of 2022, from January to March. For the month, in the 3-month time in Rowland Heights, there were approximately 87 traffic collisions that occurred. And by break it down in the general area, in the Beat 4, our Beat 4 area, which starts from Stimson Avenue, goes all the way to Fullerton Road. In that area, there was about 36 traffic collisions in that first quarter. And then from Fullerton Road all the way to Fairway, in that area, there was a total of 46 traffic collisions. And then from Fairway, Brea Canyon Road, all the way over to the Diamond Bar city limit, there was a total of 5 traffic collisions. Now, for the month of March in itself, there was 9 from Stimson all the way to Fullerton Road, 13 from Fullerton to Fairway, and only 1 from Fairway into Diamond Bar city limit. So, been talking to some of my partners out that's working on the field, and I've been asking the officers to kind of pay more attention to as what type of traffic collision that they've noticed that has increased in the last quarter. What they've all agreed on is there's been an increase in the vehicle versus pedestrians and vehicle versus bicyclist type of traffic collisions. So because of that, I want to take this opportunity and basically bring awareness to some of the traffic issues concerning pedestrians and bicyclists. Now, for pedestrian traffic, I encourage everyone, if you're going to go out or walk during the hours of darkness, make sure you wear something bright, something with reflectors or reflective, or carry a flashlight. If you're going to be walking in the daytime, wear clothing that are bright in color, so you could be seen. Something like a red, orange, green, something that's bright where vehicles can see you. And I know that everyone has the habit of using crosswalk, but before you step into the crosswalk, make sure you make eye contact with all the drivers inside the vehicle. Sometimes they may not see you, even though the light gives you the signal to cross. Sometimes they might not see you, especially when they're making a right-hand turn. Always walk in the direction of traffic, never walk against traffic. Just because when vehicles are pulling out of a driveway, they tend to look the opposite side because the traffic that's coming closest to them are what they're looking for. So, for example, if you're pulling out of your driveway at home, obviously you're going to be looking to your left because that's the traffic that vehicular traffic is coming from, that's closest to you. So they're looking left, you're walking from their right side, you basically are walking in their blind spot, and they're not going to see you until they strike, the vehicle struck you. So just keep in mind that, again, can't emphasize that enough, always walk in the direction of traffic, okay? And that goes with the bicyclists as well. Unfortunately, Rowland Heights has a lot of bicycle lanes. I encourage everyone, if you're riding a bicycle, to use that bicycle lane. The other thing I encourage every bicyclist to do is install a headlight and also a rear flashing red light. That will increase visibility, and that will reduce the chance of being involved in a traffic incident with a vehicle. Especially during the hours of darkness. By law, you are required when you ride a bicycle at nighttime to have a headlight and also a rear red light, so you're more visible to all vehicular traffic. Also, it doesn't hurt to wear reflective vests as well when you ride your bike. Again, same thing as pedestrians. When you ride your bicycle, make sure you ride in the same direction as the traffic, never against traffic. And when you are riding on the sidewalk, just make sure when you are coming to a crosswalk, you're crossing the street, you get off the bike and you walk your bicycle across the street. instead of riding your bike in the crosswalk. Make sure you stop to push those push those buttons and get the appropriate signal before you cross into the other side. So that's all I have for pedestrian and bicyclist safety. You guys have any questions? Oh, there's one more thing I wanna remind the residents in Rowland Heights. Rowland High School on the 21st and the 22nd is going to have a. Is that me or? Okay, so on the 21st and 22nd, Rowland High School is going to have an every 15-minute program. What every 15-minute program is, bringing driving under the influence, raising awareness and teaching the teenagers to not drive while intoxicated or under the influence. They're going to have a stage traffic collision on the Underpass at Underpass near Killian. So you are residents in that area, just be aware that there's going to be fire, the sheriff's department, the highway patrol, ambulance responding to that area. It is, once again, it's a staged traffic collision. It is not a real traffic collision on the 21st. Okay? So, don't be alarmed if that happens, if you see something going on in front of the school on the 21st. So again, if you're a resident on Underpass near Killian, near Kim Court, Galatina, and La Guardia, or Electric Avenue, or Valencia, or Radby, and Springport, just be aware that there's going to be a lot of police presence, fire department, and ambulance on scene, and possibly a helicopter. Okay, so just the stage traffic collision to bring awareness, DUI awareness for high school students. Okay?
Okay, can Roy
does
speak?
anybody else have any questions for the California Highway Patrol?
Can Roy speak? Is that okay? Cary?
Yes.
Okay, Officer Tao, is there anything that you could add to share with the people on that memo that I sent you that I got from the radar certification situation? It was sent from LA County Department of Public Works. Hello?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Can you
I'm here.
add anything to, because it seems to me there's a willful process on the part of the supervisors to not do those certifications. Why, I can't believe that it's, and the information that was put out, which I will be putting out in the Gazette and on the Buzz and so forth for other people to see, because they state that there was an unprecedented increase in motorist speeding during the pandemic, and that the county is waiting for to go to pandemic levels, which is just mind-boggling that we have this type of leadership in endangering our community by failing to use radar to enforce these laws. Can you add anything to that?
I'm sorry, you kind of broke on the last part. There was a lot of echo. Can you say that again?
And that is that in there where they state that there's an unprecedented increase in speeding motorists during the pandemic, which the pandemic is not, quote, over, they haven't declared it over yet, that the county is waiting for it to return to pre-pandemic levels, which is just particularly mind-boggling. And folks, I will be sending this out so you can read it for yourself, and refusing to do the certification so that the CHP can use radar for the enforcement. They want to do pacing, which is dangerous and adds to the carbon footprint. I just wondered if you have anything you could add to that.
Yes, thank you, Roy. So for us, to pace a vehicle on the surface street, it's not impossible, but it's not practical, only because there's signal lights every so many feet. And for us to have a constant speed on violators, typically the pacing technique is done on freeways. We typically pace vehicles on freeways because there's a long stretch where there's not going to be traffic signs, stop lights, stop signals, or stop signs that would keep us from slowing down. If the violator slows down for a stop sign, that defeats the purpose of pacing that vehicle and a potentially hazardous for the officer.
It's John Dane representing the Congresswoman Young Kim's office. John, please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. So right now the Congress on recess, so we are having many events for our district, local district. So the first one I want to promote is the congressional art competition. So the Congresswoman is the co-chair for the art competition this year, and where this competition is open to all our district CA 39 high school students, and the submission is due April 22nd, 2020, and the winner of the artwork will be displayed for 1 year in the Capitol. I already have all the flyers over there. So, if you're interested, check it out. Second one is the public safety seminar that we're working on. It will be on April 18th, 7 p.m. at the STC Center locally in Rowland Heights. We are inviting the Diamond Warner Sheriff Station and the Industry Sheriff Station to speak on public safety tips and also crime reports. So also the Congressman will be doing legislative updates at this seminar as well. So the next one, we're going to have a service academy information session. This will be providing information on U.S. service academies and application process. The representative from all the academies will be present to answer questions. So this will happen on April 13th, Wednesday, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I believe it will be in our district office in Placentia. If you have any question, you can reach out. We have the link to our website and also numbers of our office, so you can reach out. Also, I have another event, which I have a flyer right now, but it's going to be our Veterans Fair. We'll be hosting that at the Yokomizo Community Center on April 22nd. From 9 to 3. So the Congresswoman will be hosting the Veterans Fair, and we'll be inviting Orange County Supervisor Don Wagner to also be speaking on the fair. I think that's it from me. I will be also sending the PDF file to RHCCC once the ethic approves the flyer. That's it from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, one right here.
Yes.
Congresswoman went to the border. She found the border. Kamala couldn't find the border, but she could. So what was her findings having gone to our southern border?
So you were talking about the border visit?
Yeah, she went down to the border. What was her findings? She went down there.
Yeah, so the findings that we had for the border is basically the border, basically the border patrol and the staff over there is really they don't have enough. So we are trying to work with our colleagues at the Republican side and also across the aisle on the Democratic side to try to come out with something to trying to increase at least on the resources side to help Border Patrol to have more staff to monitor the situation and work with to make a bipartisan legislation to try to fix the border problem right now. I know it's a serious problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you for your information. Okay, let's move to the next speaker. Next is Evette representing the Senator Josh Newman, the state, Colorado State Senator Josh Newman, is criminal. Is he in criminal available? So Josh Newman's office. Okay, so let's move to the next speaker. Josh Sano from State Assembly member Phillip Chen's office. Is Kajan here? So Kajan's not here, so let's move to the County Supervisor Hilda Solis' office. Ryan Serrano. Ryan, you also you.
Thank you, Teri, and good night, everyone. Once again, I'm with Supervisor Solis' office. I'm Andrea Moreno tonight. Ryan is not able to be here, but I'm happy to be here with you in person at the Pathfinder Park. I think some of you may have been here last week for the Spring Jubilee that we hosted with Parks and Rec. It was a beautiful event. I did want to note that our staff saw the Rowland Heights Women's Club volunteering at this event, and they just had a lot of fabulous things to say about the club. So just want to give a big shout out to the Rowland Heights Women's Club for your efforts and for talking about the Greenway network. That's a very important project for the entire county, especially in the first district. We're very excited about it. Some of you may have been at the Rowland Heights Park Jubilee that took place also last week. And on that note, I do want to make sure to invite you to the upcoming Jubilee at Cano Roses Park this Friday. I believe it is the 15th from 3 to 6 p.m. So again, Cano Roses Park, it'll be the last chance for the Rowland Heights community to come to a spring Jubilee. We've been featuring vaccines and other resources, including the Department of Public Works. So if you continue to have questions, these are very fun and also resourceful opportunities for you to get connected with the county. The other thing that I want to tell you about is the free, let me get this right, so let me get closer to my notes. It is a free vehicle day use pass. That's a mouthful. But essentially it's for California state parks. There's over 200 that will be eligible for you to come for free if you have a library card with LA County or with another California library. So this is a super exciting program. If you have more questions about this and you want to enjoy a free state-run park, please make sure to check out the library's website for more information about which which parks will qualify this summer for you to attend this beautiful resource. And again, it is free, so we want to make sure that you are aware of that. And then lastly, I did want to talk a little bit about the questions that we had about the speed limit and the posted information. And so I will be sending Cary and the rest of the RHCCC a little bit more information about that in terms of the Department of Public Works and why it's taking longer than we would otherwise like to have these and so with that, I did want to ask this group, just as an informal survey, if you think that speed limits should be increased in our local areas. I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm getting very emphatic no's. Okay, so that was our feeling, and that is pretty much why the department has been very methodical in making sure that we don't rush into doing the studies without making sure that it's going to affect the community in a positive way. So again, I will send that response about the traffic studies, but I really want to thank, our CHP, our LAFC departments, and of course Public Works for continuing to work together. Obviously, the pandemic has brought very many changes to our daily life, including speeding, and so we want to make sure that we take care of that as best as we can. So those are the three things that I have for you. I know that some of you may have questions for me, so I'll step over to the side. Kind of seeing Cary, wants to get on with the agenda, and we do have our special presentation, I believe. So with that, thank you so much for your time. Once again, my name is Andrea Moreno, and I'm here with Supervisor Solis' office. She represents the first district in Los Angeles County, and that of course includes the beautiful Rowland Heights. One last thing I also want to tell you before I take it to Cary, is that we do continue to meet with the departments, right, to learn more about our new area. And so I thank you for continuing to teach us about what's important to you here in Rowland Heights and for including us. We're very excited about the Buckboard Parade and about many other events that take place historically here in the community. So thank you again for your time, and I appreciate all your questions. And so thank you, Cary.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. And Chief of Staff, Cindy Chen. Cindy Chen here.
So Cindy's not here, but thank you for the reminder. I actually have my colleague Martin Reyes here with me today. He is Supervisor Solis' Transportation Deputy. He is incredibly amazing. Deputy Martin is very committed to making sure that we have access to transportation and that we're safe in our streets. So Cindy couldn't be here tonight, but we do have Martin, so if you have questions for us in that regard, we'll be on the side.
Okay, I mentioned Cindy. Cindy is a Rowland Heights resident.
Yes.
Okay, move to the next speaker. Thank you, Andrea.
Cary, can I speak something here, Cary? Just for something quickly, Cary?
Okay. Speaker will be Evette Ronald, representing, she will speak on the San Gabriel Valley Greenway network. Yeah, please.
Very briefly, I'm going to speak on the Greenway project that they were just talking about. It's an initiative basically to, let me put my glasses on, I'm gonna see what I'm reading. To modernize the greenways. It's the San Gabriel River watersheds. I think everybody's seen them along the 605 freeway. It's actually 130 miles of San Gabriel Valley watershed, and the project is to beautify those areas, make them walking paths, running trails, equestrian trails, and just kind of make them interconnect the communities along those 130 miles. And so we're here taking a survey on what you want to see done with those waterways. So if you can spend a few minutes giving us some input, very simple questions, pretty much like, what would you mostly use those for? In recreation, commute to work, exercise? So very simple questions, there are 8 of them. You have a few minutes to fill that survey out. And if you want more information, we have the flyer, and you can take the time to fill the survey out by scanning the, I forget what that's called. But what is that called? QR code, yes. And if you do fill it out, we have a free gift for you. So it's a little incentive. And you can, we also have it on Facebook and on different various media, social media. So take the time to read up about it, and we would appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. So next is Maria Cano. Maria Cano is going to be speak about the Fullerton Road project, the waste separation project.
Thank you very much for your invitation to stand up. I wanted to, we've already sent out,
Let me ask you, the virtual audience,
Roy, can you hear the speaker?
Yes, quite clearly.
Okay, thank you.
the update for Fullerton is actually quite a big one. One of the things that we've mentioned along the way with Fullerton is moving this project along, and as you all know, have a new contractor who's doing just that. We have quite a number of phases that are currently in action. Some of them you don't see from maybe driving by, and that's a good thing, because that means progress going to that underpass is actually greater. And for safety reasons, the major reason we can't see much of that is in order to protect the community from what lies beyond the fencing that's there. The next big event for the Fullerton project is going to be a 25-day closure of the Fullerton-Gale intersection. And I have sent notices to committee as well as the community. We've gone out and done the canvassing that's necessary to inform all those immediately impacted, as well as documented it and shared with the city for their websites as well. What this means is that for 25 days, that intersection will be completely closed to through traffic so that they can move forward with the lowering of the grade of the street and performing the necessary remainder of the retaining walls along those four corners. Once May 18 comes along and the road is reopened for east-west travel, a lot of that significant work will be very much visible. What is of concern and why this approach is taking place is mainly to be able to get what would have taken another 6 months crunched into about 25 days. Because to stage and to break up into smaller phases that's the difference between 25 days is 6 months. So I have with me some of the notices for you to take with you. If you're a business, take some so that you can leave on your counters. We also have fact sheets for Fullerton and Fairway, but if you can, please grab the ones they are in 3 different languages. Take the ones home, share them with your neighbors, share them with anybody else that you think will benefit from the information. Our information, contact information is there. We welcome your inquiries or concerns throughout this process, and with everything, construction is very fluid. As an example, on the weekend of the 22nd of April, the off-ramp at Fullerton Road, the westbound off-ramp at Fullerton Road will be closed. As part of this closure, also includes some remainder work on that ramp. It'll be open for off-ramp access on the 25th, but at that point, that intersection is north of Fullerton will be closed. So really, you'll only be able to make a left hand going southbound Fullerton. So there's a lot of activity. Again, this is all in response to making sure that we're sticking to the schedule that we promised. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts. The fluidness of construction is going to be very apparent. And with that, I'll bring an item that was brought to my attention. One of the things we ask is absolutely no one under any terms should be anywhere within the boundaries of the construction site. It is not only a trespassing violation, but it is our primary concern for you all is safety. We have an active construction site, which means vehicles that are 10 times your size are moving throughout that without any notice. Additionally, one of the things that in working with Union Pacific, and it's part of the staging that would have come at this point, the crossing arms have been removed. So that means that there is no more necessarily sounding of the train horns. Even we have a flagger that flags our construction team, but other than that, no one is allowed beyond the fencing of that construction site. Anyone who does step over that fencing site will be cited
second violation, you may be arrested and fined, not just from the construction end, but UP side, and their fine is $1,500. So I asked not because it's a violation that we're concerned about, but because of a safety issue. So that said, again, we have all information at the table, and I'll take any questions either tonight or via the phone that is available there. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. So next speaker from Rowland Unified School District and board member Phillip Chen MIA. So, okay, Rowland Unified School District report, and just a reminder that enrollment is open for the upcoming 2022 and 2023 school year in Rowland Unified. The public can visit the website www.rowlandschools.org/enroll for more information. And the Rowland Unified School District is excited to be hosting a student drama performances in a beautiful state-of-the-art Rowland Unified School District Performance Arts Center. Rowland High School's spring musical is legally planned with performances in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. with a ticket of $10 each. Upcoming events including performances by Giano Intermediate and Nogales High School's drama department. For more information, please contact district office. And this month, our seniors received information on college acceptances. We look forward to sharing our over the next several months the many awards and accomplishments our class of 2022 will receive. Any questions?
Cary,
Thank you.
Cary, got one question for you.
Go ahead. Okay, yeah, is this one right?
Go ahead. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I got a letter from your superintendent saying, implying that, what was it, that Ms. Friedman was confused about my question last week. Now, I went up on your site, I could find no links to the Zoom recordings of your board meetings, so I'll be getting back with that because, I think, and they all are recorded. I have investigated this multiple times, that these are recorded, and it just does something that should be out there for the constituents that can't be here, like tonight, they could receive. But anyway, well, I'll try to help them with the confusion on that, just for you.
Thank you, Ryan, for your comments. Okay, the next speaker, Judy Chen Haggerty from San Antonio College. Judy, are you online?
I just have a couple to report. First one is with Congresswoman Young Kim's help, MTSAC received a $500,000 grant for non-credit short-term vocational programs focusing on apprenticeship in the healthcare field. So these are non-credit, so any community member are interested in the program, they can contact me. And this coming Wednesday, we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony for our Heritage Hall and unveiling the Coach Lodge statue. And the reason is Coach Hilmer created MTSAC Relay in 1959. And this week, we have the MTSAC Relay. It started April 9th and will run through all the way from April 13th to April 16th. And that's my report. Thank you. Thank you, Cary. Did you hear me? Cary, can you hear me?
Cary, Ms. Haggerty is talking to you. Can you hear her?
Roy, you can hear me?
I can hear you fine. I think Cary's
Thank you. I know. He froze.
Cary, we lost you. Can I hear anything? Cary? Cary? Someone must have fallen asleep. No, I don't know. Perhaps we timed out. I'm not sure.
Did you hear my report, Terry?
Yeah, we heard it. Lots of things going on.
Yeah. Hey, David, thank you.
That is so funny. Nobody's talking.
Is it still going on? No, we.
Okay, I'll bring you up to some.
Hey guys, we have some technical difficulties right now, so we'll probably have to wait a second while we get reconnected for the report.
We have a bottle of water
Thank you.
available on the table later tonight. Yes.
He's awake now.
So while we're trying to disconnect the bugs, we're going to take a 5-minute break per chair.
Okay, and I'll bring you up on some latest news. If you want something really exciting, go on Nextdoor. And they started a discussion about the homeless/transient situation. And usually on Nextdoor, it's a, can I borrow a cup of sugar? This thing is gone. They have 69 comments and about 29 thumbs up, thumbs down things. So you want to see somebody really getting excited over there, just check them out. Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, I'm back. Can
Okay, so Carrie,
everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we're back, so please be seated again. And okay, Judy, Dr. Haggerty, I'm sorry, so please start over again.
so I repeat my report. Okay, first I want to thank Congresswoman Young Kim Rep and Congresswoman Malkin get $500,000 grant for our apprenticeship in the healthcare area. So these are now credit short-term vocational programs. So our community members are very welcome. If you see anything in this program, please sign up. And this Wednesday, we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony for our Heritage Hall. And we will unveil the Coach Hilmer Lodge statue. And the reason is Coach Lodge was the one created the MTSAC relay.
Hello, Judy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
My goodness, you didn't hear me on this? Okay, I'll just cut it short. This Wednesday, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting ceremony for our Heritage Hall and unveiling the Coach Hilmer Lodge statue. And Coach Hilmer Lodge was the one created the MTSAC relays in 1959. And right now, since April 9th, until the end of the week, MTSAC relay is going. And also, MTSAC, with Congresswoman Young Kim's help, we got $500,000 grant for the apprenticeship in the healthcare area. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for your report. Any questions? Okay, so thank you, Judy. Then let's move to the tonight's presentation. The presentation from County Public Works Office, Steve Morosky from County Public Works Office, and Stephen will share with us how the county choose the rubbish service provider and how we process the selection. Thank you.
Hello everyone, so my name is Steve Molesky with LA County Public Works, and I oversee all the residential trash franchise contracts for all the unincorporated communities, including yours. I've been doing this for a while. I was here in 2014 when the current contract was awarded at this park. I believe it was on the top of the hill at the old building that's still up there. So I've got a lot of experience on the contracts and the contracting process, so I believe I was asked to come and talk about the solicitation process as pertains to how we select our waste haulers. So I brought half of our contract with us. This is double-sided. This is half. So there's a lot that goes in for these waste hauling contracts. I did bring in some of the key pieces that I printed out right here on how we're selecting. This is a much smaller piece, more manageable. So I'll quickly go through the process and then I'll take any questions that you want. So we actually are in this process right now on Altadena. We have the process is about to wrap up. So this is actually from them. So the first thing we do is we'll issue, we call it an RFP, or request for proposals. And we'll send it out to a list of, I don't know, it's probably 20 different waste haulers on there. And then waste haulers are welcome to bid, or they don't have to bid. There's places like, because you're fairly far north, maybe a waste hauler down there in Irvine doesn't want to work this far north, so they won't submit a bid for us. But we'll accept bids from anyone. And then the first step is a pass-fail review. And so we will look at the contracts, the requirements in there, and that's typically things like, do they have the experience required? Are they financially viable? We don't want like one guy in a wagon to try to bid on these contracts to try to service you. It's got to be a decent-sized company. So there's the initial pass-fail process that we go through. And then here's the evaluation criteria. So we've got the net rate, the work plan, so that's what they're proposing to do on the paper, experience, performance history / references. I think that was all. Yeah. So there's an evaluation committee made up of a team of 3 people. So we typically get somebody from my team, we'll get somebody from my division, which is environmental programs, so it's not necessarily somebody with a lot of waste hauling experience working in contracts. And then we get somebody from outside, but still a public works. And so those 3 people form the evaluation committee. And so they're all county employees, and they have to sign a disclosure type thing that says we don't none of our family works for any of these companies. I don't have any personal interest in any of this. And then, so because they are county employees, there's some, what's the right word for that? Accountability. Because if they do a bad job and they're doing something underhandedly, then they potentially could lose their jobs, or at least some discipline against them. So the evaluation committee will make a recommendation, and then that recommendation goes to the Board of Supervisors, and the Board of Supervisors will vote on the contract whether to proceed or not. So that is the basic process. So if there's any questions about any specifics that I skipped over, I'm open to answer them, or any other questions. That's all I have. No, I guess I explained it so awesome. Sure.
I have a question.
Oh, question, online question.
Yeah,
No.
your evaluation committee is all county employees, and
Yes.
talk about references, yet the one thing that I feel is missing is input from the community. That's number one. And number two, you're addressing additional, new bids. What about when you give extensions? It's the same criteria given and automatically given to the existing provider?
Let me see if I got all that. It was a little distracting.
Okay, number one was your evaluation committee has all county employees. There's no input from the community. And the second thing is, what is your procedure for awarding extensions to existing contracts?
Thank you for repeating that. And yeah, so the three people that are in the evaluation committee are all county employees. And I tried to touch on that when I was talking about this, but
right, but not the residents who are impacted by the contract that you sign. Your references do not include anyone in Rowland Heights. It's only none of the customers. It's only county employees. So why not include some provision, and we've discussed this before, some provision for surveying the community on their desires, their satisfaction.
So that's a slightly bigger question because this is more of a contracting policy question for the county and not necessarily me personally. I essentially just follow the rules that are established. But what I mentioned is that we have 3 county employees who do the evaluations for us. And if we were to take, let's say there's a 4th community member on that committee, we don't know anything about the community members necessarily. We don't know if we appointed you, if your husband works for one of these companies. We don't know. So that's the accountability with the county employees. That's
not my question. My question is, you're having 3 county employees determine this contract without any input from the community itself. I'm not saying that you appoint one person, but as part of the process, you survey the community to see how they feel. Otherwise, these county individuals have no idea how the community feels about the existing company or the companies that are receiving it. We're being left out of the process by 3 individuals who may only be downtown and unfamiliar with how we feel about the service we're receiving.
You are correct in that. The people on the evaluation committee are supposed to be, they're kind of like jurors in a court of law where they are making their decisions based on the documents that are provided to them. And then you're right, also the community has no direct input on the solicitation process. And that's not a Steve process. I didn't come up with those rules. Those rules you follow them. And honestly, I do not know if they're even possible to change them.
Have you ever received a review from a company you purchased something at, or you take your car in for service and they want to know how was the service, how did we do? That's all we're asking, is ask the community, how did we do? Did we put the trash cans back on the curb? Did we leave it out in the street? Did we leave the lid open and it got full of water? Did we miss your house? These are things that only the consumers know, not the county employees. I've never heard of a survey that surveys a service without contacting the people who receive that service.
And giving references that are not from the people who are being served. Your references are not the community people themselves.
So there is there is community, but we come to all these meetings such as I am here today to listen to the community. We held a meeting, it was right before COVID, with the same group that's here today to hear your feedback. And starting this year, we're going to start holding annual community meetings. And I believe I told you, Ms. Malkin, we were originally scheduled for April of this year, and that didn't work out for us. And now it's going to be, I think it was in July. I don't know the date off the top of my head. But we're going to have annual meetings soliciting feedback from the community and make sure exactly what you're saying is that we listen to the community, see how things are going. So it's not just the annual though. I have, you can't see, well, there's Ryan in the background over there. He is our contract administrator. So Ryan, if you call 888 Clean LA and you make a complaint about your waste hauler, Ryan will get that message eventually. It's a little different.
Well, that is putting the burden on the individual. I think part of your process needs to include a community survey, both positive and negative, because relying on people to take the initiative to call is not very effective. You're only going to get the negative. But if you open it to everybody, you get a survey, send it out with the invoices. Do you have any complaints? What can we do to help? That would be one way to do a survey. But you should have it, you need to change your process. You can't make us fit your criteria. You need to adjust your criteria to fit Rowland Heights needs.
I served on the committee.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Evette Mack. I'm the manager here.
I didn't hear it.
Hi, Cary. I served on one of those committees, and then like he was saying, it's 2 times this, and we had a group of 3, and each one had to go through the application, if we can go in layman's term. And each one had to go through page by page, point out what we felt that needed to be improved at that level. So it's just an application at this point. And then we have to check the reference. Instead of each one of us as county employees, we had to be accountable, just like he was saying, that we don't have any conflict of interest, we don't know anybody. I don't want to reiterate your presentation, it's great. But speaking true to the fact that I did have to serve. But we do have community meetings when the contract is awarded. You can go ahead and voice your opinion and give any ABC, LMLP, anything that you do not want to happen. I was very fortunate to work on a committee where we had a community that was not aware of, some construction that was going on in the middle of the road underneath power lines. And the community came out and voiced their opinion. Public work was there. This was in the second district. And again, from the input that they received, again, they had made some adjustments and they got a new contractor. And it was an agreement with the community and they were able to move forward with it. So, Teri, they will go ahead and hear you at these meetings, but for right now, the process that Steve is speaking about is to get the application process, go through the evaluation with 3 different people that are accountable. You see what I mean? So I hope I answered your question, but you will have your day in court.
We do. That does not address the same need that I'm talking about. You're just verifying that the fact that the community input is not being considered. It's being by those 3 people, and it's not very effective in representing our community. For instance, as I Well, part of the contract we received, and it has been resolved because I contacted Mr. Molesky. We received in a letter dated in September in an invoice that came mid-October that we were being charged for extra containers. And I called and several people called and we could not get those charges reversed. We had to involve LA County to get those charges reversed. Again, the letter was dated September. The invoices were received mid-October. So retroactively, we were charged for those. At first, Athens would not take them off until we got LA County. So these are the kinds of things that are coming up. We need to involve the county. It did get resolved, and I'm very grateful that Athens did resolve. But that's why you need community input on the survey. Here was a new contract that had these changes that we weren't involved with. We were uninformed of the rate increases, the decreases in the amount, the number of pickups, the amount that we could put out, and these types of things, in addition to the charges for the retroactive charges for the additional containers. And that's why you need to have community input in the process, not just 3 distant LA County approved people.
The committee that you're talking about, these 3 people, I've worked for the state, and we had the same thing, where we had bids and we got contracts that were submitted for those bids. And we had a committee of 3 people that reviewed the material that was in that bid to make sure it was valid, that they had the right license, that there was no complaints filed against them. That's totally different than getting customer satisfaction. What you're talking about is a bid review. And counties do that, states do that, everybody does that. But that's not a customer satisfaction review. That's a bid review to verify a bid to make sure it's valid.
I won't disagree that we do not solicit community feedback for it during the contract award process. I can't dispute that. We solicit community feedback such as events like this and before we award the contracts. And even you can have the opportunity to go before the Board of Supervisors and get your opinion before it's awarded. But the actual process, once the bids are submitted, it does not involve community. That's the process.
Do you think you should consider amending the process to include input from a survey of the community? Very least before honoring an extension of the existing. I mean, I'm not saying for any one company, but if you're going to offer an extension of the existing contract, the least you can do is survey the community to see if it should go out to bid again.
And we will be surveying the community as part of our annual meetings with the community moving forward. You haven't had yours yet. It would be maybe it was in August. I think it was in August.
Considered part of your decision making, or is it just those 3 people?
Stephen, you agree to have the survey before making the final decision?
Well, I can only personally agree to that because your contract is going to expire at the end of June, I believe it is. And so there just isn't time right now. You cannot get a new waste hauling contract in place by July 1st of 2022. So Athens Services will get a renewal from us for 1 more year. But I will tell you that we are going to work on the process so that we will try to have a new contract possibly ready in a year from now for July 1st of 2023. But there's a little caveat I'll have to put on that for you is though, because due to the supply chain issues that I'm sure you've heard about, it's affecting the waste hauling industry as well. So the carts that your trash is in and the trucks that pick up the carts, there's a shortage of those right now. And the backlog for that equipment is typically over a year. So even if we have a new contract award, we would likely have to delay the implementation of that for another year to allow the equipment to be here. It's beyond our control.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, this is Roy. I've got one, or kind of like a statement. It seems rather bizarre that you have. Can you hear me? This is Roy.
Roy?
Yeah, that you knew that this contract was coming up for renewal, and I just heard you say that. Well, there's no way we could have it done by July 1st or whatever. You know, that's almost incredulous to believe that you guys are behind the eight ball on something that's very foreseeable. That's a problem. Thank you.
Okay, and yeah, we need to move forward. Okay. Yeah, we need to move forward. We have two service providers presentation, and the community needs to know the service, what the service charges and the other things they included from the service provider. And the two service providers are the Valley Vista and Evans. Evans is our Rowland Heights current service provider, and Valley Vista is currently serving our neighbor community in Hacienda Heights. So I'd like to ask the Valley Vista come forward to share the information about your service. The representative, Angie Valenzuela. Angie, thank you.
Thank you, Cary. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rowland Heights. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank the Rowland Heights Community Planning Council for inviting us to be here to attend this meeting and to the opportunity to tell you more about Valley Vista Services, who we are and what we do in the communities that we serve. I am one of the liaisons, community liaisons for Valley Vista Services, and my job is to interact and engage with the communities. I currently am the liaison to the Heights community, Diamond Bar, we serve their commercial areas, and the city of Walnut.